Hi everyone, my name's Charlotte and this is Bayley. You've seen Bayley before. He was in for a bath. He's my mum and dad's dog. He's currently struggling with a pretty bad eye infection. Not sure if you could see that. So I'm going to be medicating his eye today as well. The audio might be a little bit different in the next two videos, purely because I got my GoPro, but I didn't realise it doesn't have a port to plug in my microphone. So currently I am using the actual GoPro's microphone. I have ordered, it's called the Media Mod, which you can plug your GoPro into and it lets you plug in your own microphone. But yeah, let's get started. So I'm going to quickly, I think, shave his bits, belly, bum, trim around his eyes, and then we'll get him in the bath. He looks very long and scraggly, but he's not matted or anything, so let's get started. I'm hoping, because the GoPro actually has an app, I can watch how I'm recording on my phone. So if I keep looking slightly right, it's because I'm just checking to make sure everything's in frame. Obviously I'll get used to it eventually, but you know, I just want to make sure everything looks all right, because I noticed in some of the previous videos I wasn't getting all the bits in, really, like the nail clips. Oftentimes the paws were just out of screen. Yeah, so he does have it's quite bad. His eye is red. This is something that's only recently come on, and like I say, he has got medication for it. I didn't want to put it on him before his groom, because obviously I've got to wash his face and clean his eyes out and everything like that. So I didn't want to wash the medication out. I really hope that this is picking up my voice okay, but I know this room is very echoey. Obviously that issue will be resolved with a mic. I just need to be able to plug it in. So as I mentioned, Bayley is quite old. He's 12. He's a bit grumpy for some things. I'm going to be plucking his ears today. You will see that he's a mix between, he's either going to be grumpy and mean, or he's going to cry about it. So, you know, I don't hope to make him cry, but I'd rather him cry than bite me. So we'll see how that goes. He's struggling on his back legs at the minute, but that is just the arthritis that he's got. I'm pretty sure I shaved his bum and everything a few weeks ago. That's why it's not that long right now. I don't know what it is with maybe it's just they're old or something, but both my mum and dad's dogs end up smelling quite bad. But they don't necessarily go anywhere or, you know, do anything other than sleep. So, I don't know, the beds are washed frequently. They're obviously groomed frequently because, you know, I live with my mum and dad and I'm always there. So, I don't know. It's strange. Hopefully removing all this gunk just lets his eyes breathe as well, a bit more. I'm going to try not to take too much off, but to be honest, the clearer his eyes are, the better, so I'm just going to do what's best for him. Bayley also, after every groom, he always shakes and he behaves as if he's freezing to death, but he's not, because I never do him short unless it's summer. Whereas my mum and dad's other dog, Princess, I do her quite short. Princess, she's quite poorly and it causes her to drink a lot. And she also stores that water in her body. So her upper body looks quite fat. But if you actually look at her like waistline, it's quite thin. It's not, you know, she's not fat. It's literally just water, which she retains because she drinks a lot. So she struggles to move around a lot. So it's always better to just do her short, keep her cool. Whereas Bayley is old and likes to be warm. Mind you, Princess isn't young though. She is, I think she's 9. She might be 8. But I think it's most likely that she's 9. Since her eye also has been fixed and she's been put on some, I think it's hypoallergenic food because she gets very upset tummy, she is doing much better. Now this camera does seem to be picking up more of like, I don't know how to describe it. Looking at my phone, it looks like it's recording like quite wide. So I can fit more in the picture, if that makes sense, compared to the old camera. I feel like I'm getting all of the dog and some of my body in at the angle that my camera's at. Whereas with the other one, it would either be like my body and some of the dog, or all of the dog, but with the possibility of not getting the whole image in the actual frame. So it's fine with me. Okay, so there's that. Now I'm going to pluck his ears, the fun part. So here we have plucking powder. I bang it on the table because he often gets clumped up in the nib because it's a powder. So put it all over his ear, rub it in. You can pluck all this top stuff. If it can be plucked, it will pluck very easy. If you're having to pull it, like yank it at the top over here, then you won't be able to pluck it out. It means it's his normal fur. Now this might hurt him, to be honest. It's quite full. Just do little bits and he should be fine. Have you decided to be friendly today, Bayle? I know. It's okay. I find that if you was to pluck ears without any powder on, it would hurt them a lot more than it would by doing it this way. Purely because you've not got the grip. So you'll be constantly sticking your fingers in and pulling the hair, but not actually pulling it out. So you're just really causing unnecessary pain if you do it like that. Whereas with the powder, you get a good grip first time and you can just pull it straight out. I know, boy. Bailey's ears are very healthy, a little bit waxy, but at the end of the day, it is an ear. It's going to get wax in it. As long as there's no redness or excessive amounts of wax or bad smells, then the ear is fine. A lot of groomers use, I think they're called hemostats, to go in and they like get the whole thing pulled out in one go. I don't feel confident sticking anything down a dog's ear, so I'm not going to do that. And I feel like, now I don't know if it's true obviously, but I feel like ripping all that hair out in one go would cause quite a bit more pain than doing like small little sections. But like I say, I've never tried to do it any other way than the way I've just done it. So a lot of this, I don't know if you can tell, a lot of this black spotting on his ear, it's all staining and mix of stains and blackheads. It's normal. You could probably get it off with some kind of solution, but these wipes don't do it. Nice chunk of wax there. Bailey's going to be, well, Bailey and Princess are staying over this Christmas because my mum and dad are going on holiday. So I will be looking after them. Oh, I know, boy. I don't know how far into the ear you guys can see, but his ear looks good. Small bits of wax, but his ears are so small and like all different segments that it's hard to get all the wax out. So I just get what I can and try not to mess too much. It's clogged in the top. I know, I'm sorry. Okay, this one seems like it's in there quite deep, so I'm just going to be really careful, do very small bits at a time. I know, boy. I know, I'm sorry. The issue with Bayley is when he was younger and I first started grooming, first of all, I've only been grooming 5 years. So 5 years ago, how old was he? About 7. But, you know, to be fair, I'd probably been grooming him since I was about 16. But back then, I would never pluck his ears. And I'm not entirely sure if the other groomers that he went to before I started grooming plucked his ears either. So there's a good possibility the first time that he had his ears plucked was only 5 years ago. Now that seems like a long time, but for a dog who's used to being groomed without it for 5 years and then you go ahead and start plucking them, it's not going to be happy about it. Younger dogs tend to adjust to it much faster than older dogs do. Alright, boy. Okay, there we go. Those wipes smell amazing, they're nice and minty. Right then, he's getting all excited because he thinks he's done, but but it's bath time, Bailey, I'm afraid. So I will see you guys in the bathroom. Alright, so we're in the bath. Let's get him started. Okay, let's rinse him off. Alright, so that's all done. I will quickly dry him off and see you back in the dog room. Right, okay, let's get started on the drying. I am most likely going to just dry some of him, cut the video, and then cut to him being dry, because he's going to take a while because of how fluffy he is. But I'd like to at least keep some in, so I'll just do the first bits. Come here. Okay, so that's about 5 minutes of drying time. I think that should be showing enough. As you can see, he's perfectly fine with everything. He pushes his whole weight down into my hand. When I go to dry his head, he literally just puts his face plant into my hand. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the video here, like I said, and come back after he's fully dry. Yeah, and hopefully that was at least enough drying time so that you can see what he's like and see how fluffy he gets. Right then, be back in a second. Okay everyone, we're back and Bailey's all dry. He might have a few wet patches, but it's not really an issue. So, stay. I am going to be shaving him on a comb attachment. Let's see, need my 30. Oh, it's already in there. Where's my little dusty thing? There it is. So, I think I'm going to do him on a 4. It's still relatively short, but it leaves at least a little bit of fluff on him, because I know he just hates it when he's shaved down on a 7. So, at least he can have a bit of fluff, but still be manageable, because obviously, you know, my garden, because it's a new build house, the grass they've put down is honestly terrible. It's just turned into sludge, mud and because I've got a husky puppy as well. She's dug some holes and there's like little trenches and pools of water everywhere. So yeah, my garden's not in the best state. So the shorter he is, the easier it's going to be for him to stay clean and not be all wet and feeling cold and horrible. To be honest, they don't go outside much anyway. But you know, when they do, you don't want them to be cold and out there for ages, so stay. Just trying to cut all around his eye as short as I can, just so that the gunk can't really stick to anything. So anything that it's sticking to right now, I'm going to chop off. This eye that I'm cutting round right now isn't actually infected or anything. It looks quite good. It's a bit foggy, but he's old, he's going blind, he's definitely going deaf. You know, I'm just doing what's best, I think. So once I get his eye drops in, I'll make sure that they've, you know, sunk in, and then I will make sure I keep bathing his eyes with cooled boiled water. You should never put anything like salt water or anything in your eyes, in your dog's eyes or anything like that. Literally just cool boiled water. Yeah, and dip a cotton ball or a cotton pad in it and gently wipe it over the eye, clear any nasty bits, and then that's that. Maybe give it a little dab dry, but you don't want to irritate it or get any like cotton fibres in his eye either, so just be careful. Right, let's get to shaving. I was thinking whether to do his head also on a 4, but no, I think I'll do it on a 5 reverse. This is a 4 comb attachment though, not a 4 blade, and it's also known as a peach comb attachment because the actual colour of, let's see, get it in frame, that is peach. So yes. Right, he has got a small wet patch this side, so I'm just going to quickly dry that. As you can see, he's still short, but it's definitely fluffy. There's a good chance it's the same the other side, but it's not an issue. It dries in a couple of seconds really. It's also a little bit wet on this side. His fur's just so thick. Okay. Look at all that hair in his eyes. Look at that fringe, huh? So that's the majority of his body done. His hair isn't completely straight, so he always has some like sticking up bits. They just don't lie flat all over. He's got half like, well, you saw at the start, his coat's like wavy, I guess. Not quite curly, but not straight either. Stay there. So I'm going to do his head. The brush as well. Stay there. So that's all shaved forward. Now we can't see even more. Then you just cut in a nice arch. Lovely. I find you'll never get like a proper perfect head cut using comb attachments, but you can get pretty close. It just takes a little, you know, a bit of finishing off with your scissors. But to me, it's a lot faster to do it this way than it would be to fully scissor cut the head. Still got some long bits on his ears and that, which I will just shave back off on a 7. Bayley has wet food as well, so I do like to take his mouth and his cheeks quite short. just to stop any food getting stuck in there, really, because it stinks if it gets stuck in there. Obviously, if it's stuck in there for days, it's gonna smell because it's basically gone off food, isn't it? So trim his little chin fur nice and short. Get all these bits out of his mouth. I think I might do his head on a 4, to be honest. It'll blend better with his short cheeks. Alright everyone, sorry about that. My camera battery died. I didn't really do much. I trimmed up this ear just so it's a bit neater. I've decided I am going to shave his head on the 4, the one that I've done his body on. Just because I've done his face quite short, so I think it will look much nicer. These batteries don't seem to have a lot of charge, like they run out of charge quite fast. So I'm gonna probably have to pick up a couple of new ones, because obviously if I've got people who want me to record the dogs and it's like back to back, there's not going to be chance for the batteries to charge. And another thing with these GoPros is, unless you buy a battery charger, like an external one, you have to charge the battery while it's inside the GoPro. So I could be charging that battery right now that ran out of charge, so that I can groom Princess straight away. But I can't because, you know, I'm using my GoPro, so I can't charge it. And the GoPro, anything GoPro branded is mega expensive. So yeah, and I don't really want to buy like a third party kind of one, because it might break the batteries or something, and then that's more money to pay. Thankfully I've not got the newest GoPro, so it is the Hero 8 Black. So I mean, don't get me wrong, the stuff's not cheap at all, but it's considerably cheaper than I think the Hero 10, and I think there's a new one coming out as well. So hopefully the video quality is good, so you might be distracted by that rather than how bad the audio might be. Video quality should technically be better. I'm recording on 1080p at 60 frames a second. Now on the other one, the camera was advertised as 1080p, but I don't think it was. And I think it was only recording at 30 frames a second, so the video should be smoother and more clear. At least that's what I'm hoping for. It does have the option to record in 4K, but I feel like uploading a 4K video would take absolutely ages, and also drain the battery way quicker, and fill up the memory card as well. Forgot about the memory card. Something I didn't realise was when I got the bundle, it actually came with a memory card, which I didn't think it did. I thought it just came with the accessories. So that was nice. It just means that if this does run out, I've got my other one that I was using in the other camera. Yeah, I think his head looks much better now. Looks more even. Sit back down. So last thing to conquer is his legs. Now with Bayley, 1, he has arthritis in his legs, but 2, he's also bow-legged, especially his front ones. So no matter how much I try to do a straight leg on him, it never looks straight at the end anyway, because his legs just bend in all kinds of weird ways. Fortunately, it doesn't affect him in any way. It just means he stands a bit funny. Doesn't cause him pain or anything, so it's just the way he was born. His back legs aren't so bad. It's just his back legs are the ones with the arthritis in. So I don't want to make him lift his legs up too much if I can help it. Just so long as he looks at least decent, you know. It's not like it's impossible to get a decent groom on him. I just hate putting dogs through possible pain. Dogs don't express pain like people do. They just deal with it, I guess. Unless it really hurts them, then you know that you've hurt them, but you'd think this is hurting at least a little bit with me moving his legs. Shih Tzus are one of those breeds that need grooming, and you can't avoid it, otherwise he's just going to get matted, and then that's a whole other issue. Hopefully this gives him a bit more grip on my floor as well, because I got hardwood floor downstairs. Just slips around like crazy on it. Especially my puppy. She don't realise how big she is either, so she's just like, she dives on the poor dog's feet first. And they don't tell her, they just let her do it. I have to tell her, otherwise she would just, I don't know, she just doesn't leave them alone. I'm trying to teach her as best as I can, but she's a husky, and anyone who's owned a husky or seen any videos on huskies, you know that they're very stubborn. Often don't listen. Well, they are smart. It's kind of countered by the stubborn. It's like she learned how to sit really fast, and she learned how to wait really fast. But that doesn't mean that she'll do it when you say the command. So whereas Bayley and Princess are actually quite good, they do listen. Bailey's just going a bit deaf, so he struggles a bit sometimes. I say he's got selective deafness, to be honest, because there are some times where he just does not listen, but he's looking at you, so he knows you're talking to him. So much hair on these feet. No wonder my kitchen's just full of muddy footprints when they come in. Yeah, Bayley doesn't like his feet being done or his nails being clipped. So, again, like with his ears, he's either going to be nice about it or not so nice about it, and that's just how he is. don't know if you can see, but his leg kind of bends forward a bit, and this one it curves. Just like a bow, really, isn't it? I guess that's why it's called bow-legged. Princess isn't bow-legged, but she stands a bit like a bulldog, like she stands wide. We make fun of her for it. We say she looks a bit like she's squaring up to people for a fight. Oh, Princess is so soft, she'd never hurt anything. Except a bird. She likes birds. And not in a good way. She's been really good with my cats. Bayley just follows them around and tries to dominate them, shall we say. But he's going to be staying here for quite a while, so he'll get used to them just being there, and he'll get bored of them eventually and leave them alone fully. It's so hard to get a nice cut on these legs. You make them straight by holding them out. Then you put them down and you think, oh, well, it's not done nothing really, has it? Well, it's just the way his legs bend, so just take some length off, round it off as much as I can, and that'll do. It's a bit better, eh? A bit more in tune with his body. He's falling asleep. Stay awake, you. You're gonna fall over if you fall asleep. Well, you could see, well, I don't know if you can. I don't know how close I need to get to his face for you to be able to see it. So this is his bad eye. If you ignore the lump that he's got on it, that's a wart. It's not very gunky right now. I washed it out good, but it is really red. Especially compared to his other eye. It does have some hair stuck in there. Look, let's get that out. But it's not very gunky, so that means that when I put the drops in, they're going to stay in and they're not just going to like blink out and run off down all that gooey, horrible pus or bad sleep, whatever it is. It's not nice. Just got to try and fix it the best I can. If it doesn't work, go back to the vets, try a different medication. Stand up for me, boy. This would probably be much easier if I shaved feet, but I only shave big dog's feet. I'm scared I'll cut them otherwise. At least with big dog's feet, you can see what you're doing. It's Bayley has back dew claws, and they're not necessarily long, but they curl very tight and up against his little like pad that he has there. In fact, Bailey's curls behind it instead of in front of it. So, you know, he has to have these cut, and these are like, they're hard to get to, and he hates his nails being cut as well. So from this position, if he didn't like it enough, he would definitely bite. And not in a nasty way, but like in a warning kind of way. He will just warn you with his teeth instead of like growling. So I have to bend him in all kinds of weird ways, and as I said, he's got the arthritis, so that doesn't help, and he's already having something done to him that he doesn't like. So yeah, obviously it's got to be done though, because the last thing he needs is a nail growing all into his skin. Because I can't imagine that feeling nice at all. I did a dog with that the other week. 14-year-old Westie. The groomer that previously went to said that she wouldn't let her cut that one nail. So I said, well, I'll give it a go. I'm used to doing dogs that are a bit awkward. But I thought she'd be quite nasty or snappy, because that's how Westies can be, especially for the nails. But she wasn't. She was just moving a lot and really pulling for just that one leg. And it took me a while to figure it out, you know, that it was actually her front nail, but the dew claw. Yeah, I had to really coax her into letting me do it. I had to be gentle as well, because obviously she's a 14-year-old dog. And when I cut it out, it looked like I cut her entire nail off. So I panicked and I was expecting blood and everything. But there was no blood, and she still had enough nail on that I could cut more off. But luckily it was fully out of a pad at this point now. But she had a massive hole in her pad. Because it had been growing in there for a while and it was a slow penetrating wound, it's healed, you know, over. So it's not just like this open bleeding wound, it's already healed, which is fortunate, which means it's just less likely to get infected. I don't know whether it will heal up ever. I'm just hoping that now that it's done, she's in less pain, and if she comes back to me, great. If she goes somewhere else, hopefully someone else will be able to cut that nail, because she won't be in pain with it. But yeah, she definitely put up a fight for it. No aggression or anything though. It was just a case of, if I can get her in this certain position, I can cut and I can do it, and it'll be done in one. So even though there was a lot of nail left over, I'd cut loads off. She'd let me get it out, and that's all I was concerned about. So it was, you know, cut down enough that it wouldn't grow, you know, back into it, so long as her owner takes her to be groomed regularly. She was really long and scraggly when she came to me, so, you know, well brushed, no mats or anything, just, you know, long. So I think they let her go long. which isn't ideal for a dog who's prone to having nails growing like that. Which obviously was explained to the owner, and she seemed like she understood. So there's a slight delay on my phone from the recording, so if I just quickly look over, I can see at what angle I'm recording at real quick, just to make sure that it's in an okay position. Nearly done, Bale, now. Remember this bit here? He's got like a little weeping patch on his back foot, so I'll just snip that little scab off. Stand up, Bale. Bayley has quite long nails, but I can never take a lot off them because they always end up bleeding. And again, I don't know if this is an old dog thing or just a black nail thing, but you know, just gotta cut off what I can. Belle, stay, stay. I will say I really don't like cutting his legs. They just never look good. It's always a bit, you know, disheartening, but I can't do anything about it. His toe spread is weird. The angle of his legs are weird. Oh well then. So let's get the nail clippers. Stay. Stay, Bale. He really hates it. No. Okay. Okay. Good boy. Good boy. I have no doubt in my mind as well that if I was to nick a vein, he would tell me about it. Okay, boy. Okay. Good boy. Good boy. Yeah, see, he's lip licking. So, he's not a happy doggy right now. Can't really take much off these back ones. Just the dew claws that are important. Right. So I liked having facing away from me for obvious reasons. So often he will just sit and turn and look at me like I am going to eat you if you try anything. I like to, before I cut anything, look and see roughly how much I think I can take off. So for this, I am going to use these. These are more like nippers than nail clippers. Okay. These aren't my favourite thing in the world to use, but for nails that are so tight like his, it's just much easier to get them without pinching his pad in the process. I'm not sure if you was able to see that, but trust the process. Other one, please, Bale. Now, if I remember right, this one's never as bad. Yeah, this one's fine. It's still going to have some taken off it, but it's not grown all the way around like that one has. So we could take a little section off this one. Alright everyone, so this has been Bayley. As you've seen, he's not an issue, you know, he's pretty good, all things considered. I will show you me putting his eye drops in though. So I don't know how you say this, but it's Exocin, don't know. So I'm just gonna do how many drops? Apply into both eyes. Maybe just one drop then. There it is. Hold it. I'll put one in here just in case. There we go. Good boy. So his eyes will look very wet. Oof. But infection be gone. Huh? Look at that. He's so handsome. Right then guys, thank you for watching. I will see you next time.